Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Team Fortress TV's coverage of ETF2L Season 31. We're on Week 6. We've got SVIFT Gaming versus Elektro, but I am not alone. My name is GrumpyKoi, or Jake, and I am joined by two wonderful people. We have Beta as our production, and alongside that, I'm joined by someone who I haven't had the pleasure of casting for in a while, and that's Eepily. How you doing, Eepily?
I'm doing pretty good. I'm pretty excited about this game. We've been spending about 15 minutes chatting about this before we went live, talking about, who we reckon is going to win, what this means for each team, what it means for playoffs going forward. That's obviously the bit on everyone's mind. And long story short, it means literally everything. We have three teams, like the bottom three teams in Prem can all make playoffs right now if the stars align, if they get the wins that they need. So this game is going to be really, really important for two of those three.
Yeah, everything's kind of on a knife edge right now for every team. Like, it could go one way or the other. And bringing it in with SVIFT and Elektro, they've had a little bit of roster changes here and there, haven't they? We will go through them, but let's just mention the roster changes, really. So we've had Martin step down from SVIFT, and he's currently being replaced by Umbrak. And
I say just, long live the king. That is Martin. He's an absolute frag of a medic. It's a significant enough loss, but the addition of Umbrak, obviously Umbrak's like crazy experience at this level, and it's not even like he's been out of the game because he's been subbing almost constantly for Feint. He's been putting games to play against these different Prem teams like on a weekly, like almost daily basis. So it's like a loss for the team, but I don't think it's going to be the be all and end all.
No, it's just it's weird to see Martin go. Like, Martin's been one of those medics that we've kind of all had a lot of fun with over the past few seasons and at events as well. He's a very entertaining guy to watch. But then they did, sadly, Elektro have lost Marosh. Marosh has stepped back. But we've got a returning player. Hopefully you all love him. Scruff is actually back playing for Elektro right now.
I mean, it's good. It's good to see him home again. I mean, I don't know quite what made him step away, but I don't really care. Honestly, the fact that he's back, the fact that, obviously going back to S31, he made some huge off-classing plays. Not that Mausch is a slack in that department, but we've seen Scruff do some big stuff. He's played for these boys for seasons and seasons, and just, I'm thinking, both these changes, they're, fairly significant, but I feel like the replacements, the new guys they've got, are gonna fit in really well. So I don't think it's gonna be one of those things where your demo leaves halfway through a season and suddenly you have to do a completely different play style and everything goes to all hell. No, I think this is still gonna be these teams playing how they should be. It's gonna be these players doing what's expected of them, and it's just gonna come down to, I don't know, I think it's gonna come down to who's prepared the most. I mean, I kind of said about it just before we went live that from the start of the season, I would imagine both these teams were kind of eyeing each other up as their main rivals for the season. Obviously, going into it, you look at Ascent in 7, and, most of these teams were probably thinking, we're not quite at that level yet. But these two, Elektro and SVIFT, seem to match up really, really well the whole way. So, if I was a leader for either, I'd be keying up. I'd be stealing all their strats. I'd be watching STVs. I'd be watching streams.
But you're not the only one who has this opinion, because looking at the poll that we've actually got on the live stream, it's been 50-50 the entire way. So, but quickly, just going to run through the teams because we are going live for ETF2L Season 31, Week 6, powered by STN Trading and Copenhagen Games. SVIFT have Ixie, Alba. They have Polygon and Rising on the Soldiers, Smire on Demo and Umbrak on Medic, and Elektro, Nevo, Scruff, Scouts, Papi, Azunas, Soldiers, Eames, Demo, and Demos on the Med. And as we're going into this first mid, both teams looking for positioning right now. Pappy's on that above ground. Polygon bombing over. Zunas just drops from there, gets smeared. That's a really good pick. Alba going down as well. Demos actually got traded though, so it's all about the post sort of losing medic fight, and Elektro getting ganged up on there. Nevo gets cornered. He does go down, and Polygon kind of healthy. Ixie actually trapping poor Scruff in house, cafe right now. He goes down, and unless Pappy can get a crazy 2k right now, he is going in for the attempt.
Oh, he's a brave boy. He wants it, but realistically, there's just no way at all.
No, he can't.
I admire the optimism, but that's not really going to be a situation he could possibly win. I mean, now I liked it from the Elektro side. There's some really nice double kind of it was like a double counter aggression, like a big counter bomb as soon as anyone from SVIFT tried to move forward. But credit to Swift, they cleaned up really well. They went from that kind of 5 versus 4 to actually closing out the whole mid. So I see them into that disadvantageous little situation. But this is off Uber, so there is a very small chance that they might try and do some kind of off Uber push. But actually,
Rising
oh
in
my
behind,
god,
gets onto Demos. Straight up, that's a really good frag for them. That's going to cause Elektro to have to back out Eepily, because they're going through Cafe right now. Ombrak has just got his Uber up, but it's quite a good position for the boys in blue, for Swift to push forward right now.
Yeah, I mean, it's super good. I mean, realistically, all Ombrak needs to do is just not take loads of damage and just die for no reason, you know? As long as no one on Swift just feeds their life unnecessarily, this is just looking absolutely fantastic. Great little kind of movement there from Rising, but really, it came down to the rest of his team pressuring so heavily in choke, and now they get to try and walk through this left-hand side with still not even having to use dropping through.
They're going to use in that Uber though, Eepily. And they're actually got in. Rising getting a lot of space, never on the heavy, trying to deny that. Alba actually is the first one to go down. This is not good for Swift. Scruff just killing Smire. Really, really good hold in my opinion. Ombrak may be able to get out. There is a chase from Scruff and Pappy. Oh, there's no way he's going to... Oh my god, what a surf!
Okay.
Oh,
all right.
Nearly. But got to respect the man for the surf. But what a hold, Eepily.
Yeah, that could have been so sick from Ombrak there, but yeah, I don't know. It didn't seem like they could really get too far in there on the Swift side. It was just really good kiting from the players on Aura. They just didn't play anyone too close to get caught, and now they're the team with the huge Uber advantage. It's only really Polygon above this little choke point. He's going to get straight in, and Demos. Nice.
Pappy's not going to let that happen. Mad directs from him, but Zunas is having a little fight with Ixie in Cafe. They're actually trying to stop the forward spawn sniper, who's still trying to take pops, even though he's been called up. He does go for the back spawn. And right now, Elektro looking to cap that off. It's kind of a stalemate moment for now, but I feel like Elektro just want to take this advantage.
Yeah, there's absolutely no need for this to be a stalemate. I agree. You know, they stacked point a little bit. They didn't want anyone else getting any more forwards, but they still got this Uber advantage. They had about 55% Uber advantage. They're still so slow moving. I mean,
why are they there?
Maybe they've forgotten. I think they've just forgotten their Uber advantage.
It's so far
I don't know
back.
Yeah, like they're playing as if it's disad, but you have 100, my dudes. Something is confusing. I guess they just spawned a sniper and just didn't quite get the read on the situation, so they're just trying to play around Nevo here, but bit of a wasted opportunity here.
Yeah, Nevo is looking for an angle, but Ombrak's in a really good spot right now. Smire just denying him. Nevo goes really low. I think he's going to get cleaned up if he's not careful. Polygon actually going around the other side, makes an attempt, gets the force out of Demos. Rising, going to try and escape, but this is good. Ombrak has now been forced to use, but they've cleaned up 2 players as a result. And they're going to come through choke. Like, Smire is on the full chase. Pappy spamming from Tetris may deny them a little bit, but no, Rising in a good position to bomb in, doesn't decide to, sticks with his team, and it's going to be a slow fight during this mid right now, Eepily. I'm
really, really liking this position from Aura. I mean, they backed up just far enough, and you can see how much damage is being dealt. It's like, he really, really couldn't get in on the side of Swift. They just, between Eames and Pappy, they were just getting absolutely crushed. And I feel like Aura was playing that perfect like middle ground, you know, not quite out, not quite fully committed. They could have left at any point, but they just dealt so much damage. It was impossible for Swift to get anywhere. Now, I mean, it's 2 guys alive. They can walk all the way through left-hand side for free as long as they can take this position before these spawners come in. They can even start playing towards the point, which they kind of just about are. I mean, it's so many frags.
They've got a little bit of cap time. They get Smire. That's a really good pick. They're actually making a lot of attempts on point. Ombrak is a little bit overextended and going to go down to Scruff. They're going to clear up the last player. Ixie Rising is not going to be able to do anything, and that's the first round.
That was really nice. That was such a nice way to win the round, because it almost entirely came down to that mid. Aura playing that perfect little middle ground and just baiting Swift just far enough in that they could crush them before they can really retreat. That's really, really nice from the Elektro side, and it's the kind of stuff I was expecting going into this, you know? Eames is a really, really smart player, and he's really good at counter-stratting specific things against enemy teams.
Well, it's nice to see. We're getting into this second mid right now. I'll just talk after this. Is Polygon makes the first sort of attempt. Zudas goes for the chase, as well as Pappy. But Pappy's a little bit overextended. Going to get cleaned up by Alba. Right now, a big bomb coming in. Eames going down. Oh, no, down. So many. Oh, 3 players down. 4 Elektro. Scruff's going to get caught up as well. Really? Like, right now, Swift. Oh, what a surf from Ombrak. He goes into Nevo, though. Can he dodge him? He can. And wipe for Elektro. Whew, a lot happened there.
Yeah, I mean, again, it was one of those mids, kind of a tale of two halves. It looked really good for Aura to begin with, but almost a mirror image of what we saw last mid, where, you know, just playing that slightly longer game, kind of getting those focuses. Once Aura tried moving forward, it's worked out really well for SVIFT, and now they're the team with a huge advantage. I think it's going to be interesting to see how well they push it. It does seem to be most teams are favouring this left-hand side for now, playing a little bit patient. But again, they seem to have just about managed to get in for free. But no,
they get a headshot onto Ryzen. That's not too good for SVIFT. They are going in, but look at this kiting. We mentioned it before, and they're just denying. Smearay going down. You know, Polygon manages to get demos, but Elektro just positioning themselves in between the med and the rest of the team. They can't do. Ixie needs to do. Oh no!
My days, are you kidding me?
Oh,
what a way to win a round! That was absolutely sick. I mean, granted, there was some beef shots there onto Ixie, but Ixie was hitting some mad meat. Just the distraction of Ombrak one side, Ixie the other. The remaining Aura players had no idea what to do.
I know it's in the past now, but I just want to come back to one thing I loved out of Elektro just before this mid starts. They went in without waiting for an Uber. I love that. I love teams that read the situation and don't have to go in just when they've got Uber. But right now, Smearay is not in a good position as Azunas just flies in, denies him, so he's not even going to be a part of this mid-fight. Polygon taking a lot of damage, gets cleaned up as well. And right now, Elektro looking very strong. Like, where was SVIFT on mid?
Momentum. They absolutely do not care. They're like, right, your demo's down. You cannot fight this mid. We're not going to let you fight second either. I mean, Alba and Ixie, it's a hell of a scout combo. They're going to try and do something here. It's going to be a little bit difficult. It all comes down to whether Eames can hit some of these crispy little pipes or just, you know, enough damage to just kind of keep these scouts unbuffed. And
look at these scouts, though. They were just bullying the entire SVIFT team out of second. Ooh. Polygon goes in for a play. He doesn't manage to land anything. He's going to die for his troubles. Alba nearly got trapped in. Like, they're trying to make something happen in Eepily, but they just can't.
Yeah, it's super scrappy. Scruff did actually manage to get two there, so with SVIFT playing towards his left-hand side, Aura can actually get all the way through right to maybe send some kind of sack or even just try and dry push here. We do have a scout going in trying to do as much damage as he physically can, but Smear caught out. I mean, I get he surfed there, but that's really bad for them. It seems like Aura can just commit a little bit harder here.
What's Happy doing? He's on spine. When did that happen?
I am absolutely baffled of anything that's happening right now, but
what is this? Oh, when Elektro play, there's always something like this happens, but right now, Pappy can give a lot of information. I think he's going to go for the back cap play.
I mean,
oh no, Smearay's well aware. He's just going to double pipe him, and right now there's another fight going on, which is an Uber exchange going on, and Ombrak's nearly getting trapped in. He's going to get cleaned up as well, and Elektro players are collapsing on all of those players in lobby. Ixie on 8 health. May be able to slither his way out. Azunas with the rest of his team pushing in. They've got so much cap time. Smearay on the point, and that's going to be 2-1 with a really nice re-push into last. I mean, Elektro.
It was an unconventional time to have a spy, maybe. I think maybe they were kind of, you know, they didn't quite expect Scruff to get those frags and whatever, but fair play, they made it work, you know. The second Pappy's like, look, there's Smear and a soldier just sitting on last, so whatever kind of trade they're doing on second, they have to push into your high ground, and you have 5 guys to their forward. Like, it just seemed it was kind of like a failed push from the start. The second Pappy gave his team that info. So, again, playing smart Aura.
Yeah, and right now SVIFT are in a kind of good position. They try to take Tetris, weren't able to do so. Azunas, nice big bomb from him. Return bomb from Rising actually cleans up a player. And, you know, it could be anyone's mid right now. Smearay super low. Azunas, you know, loads of players all trapped in chasing Polygon right now.
So much damage being dealt to so many of the Aura players. Alba, Alba so easily could have got like maybe 2 frags there in a slightly different situation, and they're still pretty weak. It is still a 4v4. Doesn't look like Aura want to give this up. Pappy, nice jump there to get that high ground. Completely destroy any chance Samir had to walk in there. So I think we will actually have to calm down for a couple seconds. I think we will finally get to a little bit of stalemate.
Yeah, just give us a second to breathe. My God, as they're not going to do that. They're doing a nice little exchange right now, just of damage between this flower areas. Rising going in with a big bomb, manages to get Demos to actually use his Uber. Ombrak hasn't used yet. He can hold on for a little bit. He held on for so long. We've got such a huge
could be
Uber
such
advantage.
A good chase right now.
Demos is so trapped.
Smear.
Oh my God! Scruff goes down. That's 2. They're looking for a third. They can get it. Fourth, maybe. Alba gets traded, though. And that may be Swift's kind of speed kind of gone from that.
I mean, it's fine. You know, as long as they can play slowly, like they've got healthy players, they've got Umbrak, they can just play as slow as they want. This Soldier Pappy behind them, he's not really going to be an issue as long as they just pay attention. Like, you know, him and Rising's going to have a bit of a fight. Even if he wins this, it isn't the worst thing ever, you know? They can play that ad, they don't have to rush forward onto last. Nothing weird needs to happen at this point.
No. So, right now, Swift managed to hold on to their second. In a weird... Well, sorry, no, managed to hold on to the second. Well, it is theirs now. You know what I mean.
I see what's going on. Do you worry?
Yeah. And so there's essentially got it up on last and a Pudis on Nevo. So right now, it's all down to what Swift do. I feel like their last pushes are a little inconsistent. So right now, they're trying to spam out that sentry gun. They don't want to use their Uber very early, as they do use it now. But Nevo denies Smear so much. He's not able to put a lot of damage in. Never. All these arrows from Demos keeps him alive for a little bit, but they're cleaning up their players. They're looking to put some time on the point, but Azunus returns and does deny that. Polygon's not in a good spot. Smear on top of the point, trying to get skill stick. What is going on? Polygon down as well. The only survivor for Swift right now is Rising, and Ixie has just respawned.
Yeah.
What's Rising going to do? Oh, he gets spotted. That would have been a big play if he was able not to get spotted. He's so low right now. Yeah, he's going to go down.
Just to take a second to look at some of these last pushes, it seems that both teams are opting towards this far left from the attacker's point of view, and it just, they have to get so much distance to deal with this 450 heavy. We did see it was almost a scout entirely just trying to deal with the heavy, and it takes so long with those arrows. It just seems like neither team's able to quite push fast enough with these full Uber advantages onto last to really be able to kind of play as a unit. There's always one guy a little bit further ahead, and then, you know, they get caught out. We saw Ombrak died really early, so... yeah, it definitely doesn't seem to be quite working out. I cannot feel that either team would benefit from just trying a top right. I mean, that's where the entire team's holding. I feel like they can jump through a little bit faster.
I think our Elektro did make an attempt with it at one point. I think that's how they got the last round. I was watching Azunus go through left, but I believe they did a right push or a lower push. Correct me if I'm wrong, chat. I know you will. But,
either way, this is going to be 2-1. It's going to be Aura still sitting fairly comfortably in this equilibrium situation on mid, and I don't know. I feel like
I feel like Swift can equalize this though very easily if they just work around this sort of aggression that or Elektro are putting forward. But they lose Alba as having a fight on Flyos right now. Scruff goes in. Oh, Polygon. Ooh, tasty. And I think things are going to kind of fiddle out right now, Eepily.
I gotta say, I think so far there's something like an 80 or 90% success rate on most of Rising's bombs, so I feel like if something's gonna happen, it may well end up being Rising, but it's actually gonna be Polygon and Rising both together. One's gonna get absolutely annihilated, but Demo's so weak on 8 HP he uses. I mean, there's a world where he drops there, and that's absolutely beautiful, but uses just about in time, and now to really Swift's opportunity. I mean, if they have to force here, it's gonna be so bad for them. And Ombrak's still already weak. I mean, they're on the low ground. Yeah, they've got one fight, two actually, with that pipe from Smear. So it's not the worst Uber ever, but still they can't chase absolutely insanely. In fact, Scruff dying there.
Smear is though. Look at that. Look at the amount of damage he put on those players on Cafe. He's rotating right now, seeing if he can trap them in Cafe. And the Swift are keeping that aggression up right now. I wouldn't be surprised if we see Rising or Polygon go in, and they've gone in on the place. Don't stick so much, he goes down. What a play from Polygon. And that's just going to create a nice little, you know, momentum and situation for Swift. They can kind of just breathe for a second, start putting that pressure with the heals forward in Flowers, and they're looking to get into second right now, Eepily.
Yeah, well, you can see Aura, I mean, Scruff's already on NG, like, they know there's nothing they can do in the second. As everyone is on Sunshine, they're petrified of feeding anyone on second. Even losing Pappy there is really not what you want, especially for effectively no benefit there. So there's going to be a hard hold. And this time we do see the top right from, looks like, yep, top right with Smear and Alba. Again, seems like they can take a decent amount of position before using here.
And they've gone in the far right, like you mentioned, and they are going to actually have this Uber completely denied by Nevo. But they've got a nice amount of presence in last. They may be able to... Oh, those soldier cleanups, though, are going straight in. Players are just dying so quickly. They managed to get Eames, but I don't think it's enough. Smear, Ombrak, only one left. They're going to have to back out. They listened, but I don't feel like they committed as quickly as they should have.
I mean, it's hard, right? When they pushed right, it happened to be that Aura was holding far left. When they pushed left, Aura's holding far right. I mean, maybe they just didn't have the info, whatever. It does seem like it's just so difficult for them to take all of that space and being able to do all that damage and, you know, get whatever kind of picks or whatever kind of damage, you know, advantage they want to get just from that one Uber. I don't know, I feel like maybe they need to get some more info. They need to be going directly into that side, maybe. It's definitely weird, but we do have Aura actually looking to try and take this mid.
Yeah, and they do manage to clean up some players here and there, but Azunas does go down. But look at this aggression from Elektro. They're just leaving a scout to cap. They want to put a lot of pressure in
they're going to get crushed right now from Swift.
The rotation. They saw what happened in the 7 versus Ascent game, and they've just got into a position where Domos trying to stay alive, wasn't able to, but they're trapped in once again. On back owner. The Reapers!
What a heavy commit from Swift. I mean, they were fully committed. They were like, we don't care about the point, we don't care about any other frags, we only care about demos, and hey, they got them. But as a result, they were 3 versus 5 on mid. I mean, that was so close to being nuts, but then they didn't deny the point, they didn't deny any other players, they just got demos, and now look, they're 2 alive on last.
Scruff and Papi are already in on last. Like, Smear is going to get cleaned up by Eames. Like, what a read from Eames once again. He's just ready to go in. Knows the players are down. Wants to create a nice opening for his team. And they're looking to stack up now back into lobby. So, we got Rising below. I don't know if they're aware of it. But I don't think he can rotate quick enough. Because Elektro are going in right now, Eepily. They're dealing a lot of damage onto the point area. Ombrak, Super Logans get cleaned up. So, they've got those heals that they can play off. But Rising is in behind. He's on to Eames. Eames is super low, but they're still alive, and they managed to cap off the point. That's 3-1. Elektro are running away with this.
Yeah, I mean, there was definitely a situation there where Elektro could have committed a little bit earlier. They could have committed a little bit harder. You know, maybe Papi could have jumped to high ground, but they played it super patient. I mean, he backed out and then waited for the rest of their team. They knew that the big player, which they need to have, you know, not in the fight, was Smear. And they knew he was the most recent death, so they just waited and waited. They knew Smear was still about 5-6 seconds away, and then they came to that far left. And you saw the difference it makes, that demo versus, you know, no demo in these kind of last pushes.
Yeah, it's so important. And right now, Polygon to skyboxes. But Rising comes in, tries to deal a lot of damage. A lot of players getting cleaned up for both teams, and it's looking like Elektro in a really good place. Let's see what Papi does. He goes on to Ombrak, deals a lot of damage, cleans up. Ombrak, he does trade for it, but no heals. Versus the Chariot of Elektro, they may be able to, like, they're going for the demos right now. He manages to stay alive, and they're going to get this mid.
And it's pretty scrappy. Mid's kind of very like back and forth, and you know, it doesn't feel like either team has the best read, like the best idea of how to do these mids. But in terms of scrappy fights, it was nice to just see again the scouts on the Elektro side playing nice and slow, nice and patient around their demos. We do have Rising actually on the spy, almost directly behind demos. He's decloaking, he's going to try and get onto him, but that's 2 button knives, that's some pistols, and he will actually force them on second, so unconventional, but it works.
Oh, that was hilarious.
Oh no, wait, but they lost Smear. Okay, this might be disastrous. Again, we saw the difference it makes, demos versus not demo, and with Smear down, nowhere near Uber. I mean, they've got to deny them through this choke point, but they're just not at all. This gun's going down as well. It's only really this Pyro which has any
Smear
kind of
is up though, but he's going to get
annoyance.
cleaned up straight away. This is not good for Swift. They nearly had the opportunity to make this work, and Elektro are just in control right now. They're in the driver's seat. They're cleaning up players. Rising is the only one left doing his best, but Elektro 4-1.
At least just came down to Smear dying 100%, and you can see Aura's focus on the game. They're prioritizing keeping Smear dead. They know how much of a powerhouse he is, and they know how fundamental he is to these last holds. And they know that if there's any opportunity to pick him, you pick him, and the rest of the team just seems to crumble, at least with these last holds.
I'm amazed that Elektro are getting away with it like they are, coming onto the 6th mid. And Swift really needs to start making things work. Rising gets instantly denied by a nice sticky from Eames, but the big bomb coming out of Polygon. Papi looking to make something happen well, and it's just jumping exchanges. Pipe cleans up Azunas, but both demos are down. More are down for Swift right now, but they're in a good position. They've got this Chariot going. They get 1 frag, get 2 frag. Scouts just making some work. Demos is all on his own, and Flowers, he's going to get chased by Ixie. And
yeah, Ixie's on the prowl. That's his frag right there. It's only really Papi they have to worry about now, and I mean, you can be one of the best soldiers in Prem, but it doesn't matter because those are 2 185 scouts, and you ain't gonna do nothing.
Yeah, it's not. It's good to see the Swift are. I'm pensive because Swift have won some mids before, but it's their last pushes. They can get into the situation where they've got full Uber advantage, but they just can't seem to get through the defense of Electra. And Electra going exactly for the defense that has worked for them. That heavy on the left-hand side, that sentry on the right. It's two things for the Swift boys to deal with, and they're going to try and deal with it right now, waiting to go in. Sentry gun not really done much. They found it out now, but it's not going down. But now it has. And Nevo still really healthy, denying all of these players. Happy trying to make some work in, just dealing, getting rid of those soldiers. Both soldiers down, but yeah, Swift not able to finish it off, and they're just losing players and gonna have to back out. Like Smire's just getting chased so hard, gonna get cleaned up, and that's a failed push again from Swift.
Yeah, I mean, I said it before, I'll say it again. It's just patience from the side of Electro. They know Swift has to walk into them because unless Swift take that position, A, they're never going to cap the point, which ain't ideal, but also Aura can keep just, dipping it out of spawn. They can just get constant resup. Like, they have a permanent health advantage as long as they can get to their own resup. And it's just, they're just saying, hey, walk at us.
Puppy going in, followed by Eames. Look at the aggression once again. This is Electro's thing right now. Cleaning out Smire, like you mentioned. They just want to go in.
This
go
back
in as
up,
soon as
we
he
have
goes
three
down.
players on the back up onto Aura's second. They will actually get it, and now we're gonna have, oh my god, another 3 players walking straight onto last. They're managing to clean up 1, 2.
Ixie's the only one left on that attempt, and it's going to be a wipe for Swift.
Ooh, that's a heavy old commit. I mean, they lose almost all of their players here, and yet Smir will die. So it's only an Alba, a spawner in his forwards. He does manage to kill Scruff, so it was a weakened Scruff, but technically he wins that 1v1. But I mean, I feel like it's starting to get into danger territory here. It's about 6 minutes 50. They're 3 rounds down. Things just aren't really working for Swift.
Yeah, they just really need to work on their aggression right now. That's the main thing that's important. Is Swift need to kind of match that aggression and take the pace away from Electro, because that's exactly what they've got at the moment. But coming into this, look at all these Swift players.
I'm so sorry, he hit the nuttiest air shot on Pappy, which
fine.
literally saved him from cratering. That was fat. I really hope that was caught on screen.
No, it wasn't caught, but what also happened there was so many players got mulched for Swift, and they've managed to get the force onto demos. Ombrak is going to get cleaned up. Again, like, Electro just take these situations and they adapt so quickly. And I feel like Swift are just always playing catch up in all of these fights.
They really, really are, and again, we're kind of getting to a position where if Aura can take this second for free, or even get a frag or two, and then manage to get themselves another round, like, that's almost going to be it for the entire game. It's just so difficult for Swift here. Yeah, I mean, like, they've fed full there. They know it's getting to crunch time. They know it's going to be so difficult. They have to just pull something absolutely magic outside of them, and it's just not going to happen. I mean, Alba versus 5, like, I'm optimistic maybe. It's not really going to happen. That's going to be a 5th round for Electro.
Oh, 5-1. I feel like going into the second map, if Electro can, 5-win lead this, I feel like it's going to really affect Swift. So it's kind of make or break for the attitude of Swift right now. Obviously, they're amazing players and they may be able to keep their attitude, but no matter how good you are, it's going to affect you. So coming into the 7th mid, Samir is a lot quick, but Azunas tries to do the thing he did before. Got the classic sort of setup from Electro as they try to make something happen. Polygon's denying that, doing some nice strafing runs over the Electro team. Rising trying to go in as well. They're trying to clean up players, but Swift players are dropping left, right, and center. That's 2. They're going to be a 3rd. There's the 3rd. This is not good for Swift. They need to either stay in or just get the hell out of Dodge. And they're not able to do so. Electro losing only 1. Again, going for that mad aggression. Look at this. Pappy going down. Sorry, Pappy taking on Smire.
Ombrak's going to be so lucky to live here. He actually stood still. He knows it. He knows this is the end of the game. He's checked out. He's like, alright guys, it's not happening. But for real, if you're Swift right now, I mean, I feel like you do what Ixie's doing. You take some 1v1s to prove a point. He did take down demos, so technically not even the end. But, maybe there's not enough time to win at this point, right? But you just got to Taylor Swift this. You just shake it off, you go to the next game. I mean, Sunshine's a weird map, right? Sunshine's like a weird map, weird things happen, not quite as classic as something like, I don't know, Badlands. I feel like, that's going to be where the pedigree of some of these Swift players is going to come into things.
Yeah, it's it's one of those curveball maps because it dips in and out of rotation. So something like Badlands, we've had Badlands for years. It's when anyone says, whenever I speak about competitive TF2 or anyone mentions it, I just think of the second of Badlands. So this is an old school map, and I'm just excited to see it moving forward.
Yeah. So okay, I think
let's do post game analysis without logs first, then we'll go to logs. So just quick post game analysis without the logs, and then we'll look at the logs.
Without looking at any logs, right?
I think sorry. Yeah.
The biggest difference, really, when it came down to the mids that Aura won, is that they had just straight up better focus fire, but also the confidence they played the mids. You saw in those last two mids in particular, Aura would chill. They'd play their setup. You even saw demos kiting towards Cafe, almost going quite deep inside. They gave up some position for the sake of playing safe, and they trusted in their focus fire to just take down one player, then another player, then another player, and then before you know it, it's like 5v3 or something, and then they can repush, they can retake that ground, and they can win the mid just purely through playing that game of just kind of longevity. They know that Swift is going to try and do something not necessarily fast, but they're going to try and get some kind of aggression, and Aura can deal with that and then counter aggress and just absolutely crush whatever hold Swift would have at that point. Yeah, I think it's like it was some really nice reads from Aura.
Yeah, I totally agree. Like, just Eames led his team to victory there. I feel like his decision making, like the pace he put on that game, was what was kind of the downfall for Swift all in all. So shall we now have a look at the logs? Grumpy,
I don't like Grumpy. I want to look at the logs a second. Can I say something?
Yeah.
Looking at the logs, Return of the King, Scruff 38 for 13. I mean, I'm really sorry, Marosh, right? Because you're a total fragger, but right now, Scruff is just like, thank God he's back. He's absolutely decimating. I mean, shout out to Eames as well. Like, he 22 for 10, damn near 400 DPM, but like, between Eames and Scruff, and he's also some really nice play from Pappy as well. It doesn't show up quite as much in logs, but just like positional stuff, keeping Swift out of the choke points. I mean, comparatively, we're looking at Smear 8 for 21, and these kind of difficult games for Swift, it seems to be a really common thing where things start going a bit wrong and Smear will get caught out. I think basically every game I've casted for Swift so far this season, we've seen the same kind of thing where Smear will either be a little bit too far ahead or it won't be communicated with the rest of the team. Something will go wrong and he will keep dying in these situations where they need him to live. And the amount of last pushes and second pushes and different holds we saw, which just completely fell apart because, maybe Aura would be pushing versus Swift without Smear, or Swift would be pushing and then they'd lose Smear early, and they just couldn't do it without him. It just seems, again, these problems we saw several weeks ago still exist for Swift.
I'm just intrigued to see how this next match will go. I'll have a quick look at the logs. I'm not really the log sort of person. I'm more emotional than anything else. I'm not really hard at analytical numbers. But I've got to say, no drops. I've got to say fair play to Umbrak adjusting to this team, even though it was not the easiest match and they did lose. I feel like Umbrak had a pretty good impact when he was able to, of just pushing his team forward when they needed to, and just being very supportive. So we'll see in more of an old school map, someone like Smiro will be able to take charge of his team a lot better. I could see this going the other way.
Yeah,
I mean, easily going the other way.
I did get a little fun fact fed into my ear by the stats extraordinaire, that is your boy Dumptum, who has fed me the line that if Swift converted all the last pushes they had, that would have been a tie. So if Swift had their opportunities to get rounds, and even though they lost 6-1, if they had fixed their last pushes, they would have actually been able to equalize that just through the opportunities they had that game. Which it really shows they could not deal with Aura's defense at all. And maybe that's a Sunshine thing, right? Sunshine, it's a much wider last than damn near any other map, really. I mean, definitely, it's a much wider, much kind of flatter last than Badlands in particular. So maybe things are going to be different here, but it does make me think maybe Aura's just got these reads. They know how to get these really, really solid holds and play into that hold, They don't go over aggressive. They don't, try and get like picks on the flank. They trust in their hold. And I don't know, I mean, everything might go up in the air because obviously this is new Badlands. This is the 1 second cap time, and crazy things can happen.
Yeah, and speaking of crazy things, let's get into this Badlands.
Let's get into it. I'm hyped.
So, just for the people who've just joined us, this is TFTV's coverage of ETF2L Season 31, Week 6, powered by STN Trading and Copenhagen Games. Thank you, boys. And Elektro versus SVIFT are going in. And Azunas, look at that!
Oh, decimated.
Woo! Straight in. Azunas wants to go in and create opportunities. Alba gets cleaned up by Demos. And Rising behind, may be able to do something. But Elektro, oh, Nevo saving his teammate. That was what a start to bad. That's setting the pace in every single way.
Yeah, I mean, that's just early aggression. Like, you saw Smear wasn't ready for it at all. I mean, Eames is now trying to keep up this aggression. He does get a little bit airshot down to the ground, so he will have to just calm down a little bit. I mean, with Pappy taking all this damage as well, they've got to be just a little bit careful. But definitely, what a way to start the map. It really shows confidence from the side of Elektro.
Yeah, but, you know, SVIFT keeping themselves in right now, not letting that rough mid really let them lose this second, and I feel that's really important. And they managed to get the Uber out, obviously saving Ombrak, save the team in this situation. And Azunas trying to bomb over the top, Alba going down, but Azunas being a trade. You know, Eames not in a good position. Oh, Polygon looking to create. Did he run out of ammo?
It's just super scrappy
like
from the sides of both teams. It does look like from this high ground, I mean, Smear has to walk into Scruff, which is fully buffed on the rock, along with Nevo, so they are going to try and fight against it, but this is really, really risky from SVIFT. Okay, eventually they will decide to back up. I mean, there was a world where they get caught out there, but they play that hair's breadth away from just being a little bit too fast. So this will be SVIFT getting out to safety with about a 30% advantage.
Yeah, Nevo got a bit brave, and Pappy goes down as well, so that's 2 down for Elektro. Azunas manages to pick up Smear once again, and you know, feel like Elektro just doing what they do best and dealing with it. But Eames going down, Scruff, that's, you know, that was all Rising there. That was all Rising. His
that was
bomb,
absolutely beautiful.
His bomb over the top of Spire and just getting Eames and just creating that space for his team was so important. What a play.
It was so. I'd say I got to shout out like Polygon as well, but I think it was interesting how long they left Ombrak alone, because they had full confidence that they knew exactly how Aura was holding. They knew where all their players were, so they were like, okay, Ombrak, go chill there. We're gonna go like absolutely decimate them, and then we'll be back in like 5. They did exactly that. They knew they didn't have to play off the Uber advantage, so they could afford to play Ombrak just safe and far away.
Yeah, and a bit of a trade right now between players, but nothing too much. We've got a quad chat for Mixie, so I didn't see that, but obviously mad respect to the person who killed him. And Rising going down. There's a bit of a weird situation right now with all of those SVIFT players in the valley, but they managed to get Pappy. But Azunas, you know, Azunas has been playing like an absolute mad lad this game. He's everywhere.
It's been really nice aggression, and he's not really been... Granted, it's about 4 minutes in, but he's not really been dying that much either. Seems to be, again, playing that kind of that fine line between aggression and just feeding. He's been doing pretty well. We do have this advantage now faded for the side of SVIFT, so they lose one. They do manage to force off Demos,
play though. That Polygon play was so good. What a jump, and they managed to get the exchange out of Ombrak. Azunas gonna go down, but tries to see what he can do as denial, and Eames not too scared. Look at him, just.
No,
standing on.
He has
got no reason
right to be scared at this point. No, he can walk all the way to choke. We saw Ombrak, yeah, he got a better Uber, but he was so far away, he couldn't really do anything with it. It's effectively equal at this point. Everyone's just happy they can be chilling in their chokes. And 5 minutes into this game, we're going to start to see what each team has up in their bags. You know, I think it's interesting. We haven't really seen that many stalemates at all this game.
No.
This entire match. I mean, last map included, but. I'm wondering if maybe we might finally see just a little bit of sniping, maybe from Alba or potentially Scruff on the Elektro side. We do have a lot of very proficient snipers. I mean, Scruff and Alba
Nevo too.
Both made huge plays on Sniper at LAN, so they might be bringing this forward.
Yeah, Pappy goes down. Nevo's not a bad sniper either, actually. Got to give him props where props are due, but in comes the boys in blue. They're getting Demos popped up. He's going to have to use that Uber, and they're going in. Let's Swift get that force. They do lose their soldiers, but if they can get Umbrak out, this is a really good position to be in. Or they may be going for the collapse right now, or Elektra not knowing to go in or out. Zuna spamming onto Smeary. Smeary wants to take it through Valley right now.
Oh, Smear with his massive pulsating brain is just like, we don't care at all. I mean, Aura's trying to commit to this back cap. It's working pretty well, so we do end up seeing this Uber, but Demos definitely dies here. 1000%, yeah, he gets taken down. So almost, I mean, it wasn't an intentional little kind of fake out there in terms of going for the flank, but it worked regardless. And now it's just Azunas caught in the enemy team's house. He technically could back cap, but I'm pretty sure Rising's heard him at this point. Yeah, he's seen, so Swift can just move on to second. They can get this cap, and they're all good here with what's going to be about a 30% advantage.
I thought Azunas was going to win that, man. There was like a little fight going on in Blue House between Azunas and Rising, but Azunas had the low ground, but he managed to kill Rising before Rising's rocket actually cleaned him up. So just a little impressed there. But Pappy denying in lobby, doesn't want to let them in too quickly. It's a good decision because it means that his team can look at setting up some sort of defense. They know they're at disad. They've got the Pyro on Scruff, who's building right now with the detonator. Engineer, maybe? Yeah,
this gun is so slow going up. I mean, it was already built, but yeah, it's not going to really do anything. And this Pyro nearly dies in spawn. We're playing time already on Albert, but both soldiers playing towards us, so we can play a little bit slow from the Electro side again. Is this going to be a case of Swift running into a brick wall and just losing the last as a result? I mean, Ixie's going to try and get in, but taken down again, just Rising and Umbrak. It's almost, it's so different of a last compared to Sunshine, because obviously the cap, it happens so quickly, so you've got to trust on Electro to be really super vigilant, but it seemed like they played just slow enough, and Swift, they took down a gun and like one other guy, really. It just, they couldn't really achieve what they needed to. They couldn't play the point. They couldn't achieve any individual goal of killing people, getting point time, getting significant damage, nothing.
I feel like our Electro right now attack, defend, and most importantly they project that last, but right now they're on that attack, and look at this aggression with that Uber. They're just barreling across the point. Never manages to surf his way out.
This repush from the side of Swift, it could be so good. There's a lot of people playing quite forward.
Look at Ixie going underneath. He may be able to get onto demos. They do manage to clean that up, as well as 3 players from our Electro. Eames is going to be trapped and going to get cleaned up. Look, it's just post to post right now. What is going on?
Oh my god, even Umbrak dies right at the end. Azunas with a super high, super deep bomb all the way around. I mean, Pappy's still alive. Ultimately, it's going to end up the way as Swift, but not by a significant margin. I mean, it was a nice little repush. Mistakes made from each team, really, but it just shows kind of how scrappy this is, and how, really, when it comes down to just DM, both these teams are super equal.
Yeah, and look at this rotation into trash out of our Electra. They've lost second, but they're not going to give it up for free. They're trying to pressure all of these players because they know Umbrak is only just joining them now. Pappy created a bit of space. Polygon going down, but Pappy a little bit trapped. No, they're losing players now. 2 apiece though. Maybe a bit of a pause. I'm not even going to risk saying stalemate, because the moment we say it, these boys just go in.
I'm going to shout out, Nevo got 2 frags, and he went for the 360 meter shot. Didn't hit it, but hey, you miss every shot you don't take, okay? He could have hit that. That could have been a frag video. Shout out. Shout out to that guy. Equal Ubers. Both teams chilling where they are. And this is still 0-0, so it's been fast-paced, but no one's able to convert anything too much. And really, most of the advantages have gone the side of Swift. So, yeah, as much as they haven't committed, they haven't managed to actually get around, it does seem like if it keeps going the way it has been, eventually it will happen, Monkeys and typewriters.
Yeah, I think the plan right now for Swift is just to work their way and run away with this, because they did lose 6-1 on the last map, so they really need, especially something so pivotal to playoffs right now for them. Like, if they don't manage
That's a deep bomb from Azunas. He's getting 1 rocket. He gets 2. Umbrak surfs away. Oh. That was such a juicy little jump, but
yeah. I literally, as you called it, I saw it, and it took my breath away. What a play.
Oof. I mean, one day that's going to work. One day I'm going to see that. We do have Polygon, not quite as extravagant, along with Rising. 6 in.
Oh my god. Dude, the soldiers are just going ham on this map. They're not...
Is this a jump server now? Is this Tempest? Hello?
Hello? All we need is Kidder, Boshi, Starkey and Captain to turn up, and we've got ourselves a jump jump race right now. But right now, our Elektro bombing in, using that Uber, seeing what they can do. But the counter Uber comes in. Demos, you ain't getting out, mate. There's nothing you can do. Get another frag. Swift in an opportunity to press on to second right now. And
I mean, it was just an absolutely disastrous Uber exchange from Aura. I mean,
Pappy trapped
Omrak didn't use until they were about on 20% or something. It was, you know, one of those, like, they trusted so much in the Scout to trade the Ubers, and we saw in one of the Ascent games previously when they'd try and trade Ubers with AMs, obviously one of the Scouts in Europe at this point, and it still doesn't work. I think that's effectively the same as what we saw there. So we do have an Uber advantage for the side of Swift, about 30-35%. Again, does seem like enough of an opportunity to push. It is pushable, but again, this hold from Elektro, they've got their gun, they've got their pyro, and it's not so much time that Swift can take top left and then just slowly move forward towards the right. They've got to be really aware of time. They've got to be aware of, you know, trying to get something done before the Uber of demos comes up. He is 75%. They are trying to deal with this gun and this pyro. They do actually manage to take down the pyro, and the NG does change off. So now, point time for Albert. He plays towards it. Smear drops down though, and he will actually die. There's so much time. They have to play so many players of Elektro towards point, but really Polygon able to do anything much. Gets a nice little arrow from Omrak, and now Rising, trying to make the best of a bad situation, getting some rockets, but nothing's really going to hit other than Scruff now. So, again, looks like this is going to be another failed push from Swift.
we haven't seen an attempt on Swift's last yet, have we? I don't seem to remember that.
No, not as far as I can remember.
So yeah, so what was that? Three pushes, 3 fails for Swift right now.
Definitely, what they're doing just isn't working. They can't really play point time. They can't play the damage. We do have a contest from the side of Swift. They do manage to force off demos just as. Oh my God, Smith just got absolutely decimated by Eames. So again, you know, Smear's down for the side of Swift. How much is the rest of the team gonna crumble?
Yeah, it seems like they make the attempt and then they just start backpedaling way too much. Swift, because Elektro just give them no breathing space. This is the most breathing space they've had, and they've managed to get it to their second, but not for long, as the Elektro players just looking to create that space once again. You got the Scouts all over Spire. Zunas in a position where I don't think, if he can get an arrow a little quicker, he could have rotated into lobby and created something quite magical. But right now, 0 apiece. We're on the second of.
Oh no! It's Zunas main straight to last. He's jumping straight on it. There's one soldier he has to deal with, but there's so much cap. He gets it. New Badlands. Well, new old Badlands. Old new whatever.
Old
Badlands.
new old Badlands thing.
Oh, what a way to lose a round as well.
But that's 1 for 1 for our Elektro technically push wise.
But it is 1 for 0 in terms of the score for this map, though. So again, Aura taking this lead. How are Swift going to deal with it? They've had plenty of opportunities. They just need to actually convert something.
It's all down to how they start off this mid for the kind of the pace of this round. And Rising, nice bomb gets him. Oh, those soldiers picking out 2 really key flags. Never going down as well. No one going down for Swift. Smira getting low, but what a mid fight from Swift.
Scruff's just hiding behind Trent. He's gone.
No, he's gone.
There was a world where he did something absolutely crazy there. Didn't happen, basically. Didn't happen. Really proper, like, I don't know, textbook, super clean mid from the side of Swift. And hey, if they have a chance of winning at last, it is now with your 80% Uber advantage, all of your players up, and Scruff still down for another 6 seconds.
Go, and that's exactly what they're doing. They're going in through main. Pappy's trapped out. Smira needs to clear off the point as much as possible, but the Putis is up. Rising may be able to clear him up or at least deal a lot of damage to him. Never gets really low, but once again they can't handle Elektro's solid last hold.
They can't. It's absolutely insane. Like, I mean, Omrak may just about live here. I think, yeah, between him and Smear, there's so much damage being dealt.
Azuna's in though.
Yeah, no, right at the end.
Eat your words, Eepily. Eat your words.
Going back to that last, literally, what won them that last hold is the fact that Eames had stickies on the inside of the rim. So it's difficult to shoot at, it's difficult to spread them to one side or to destroy them, whatever. Alba could not play at the point, at which point he was just standing on the floor doing absolutely nothing. I can't remember quite who. Someone else just stood on the floor as well, and they're just looking at the point like, well, the stickies inside the rim, what do we do? Nothing. Even with demos dying super early and no heals on the side of Aura, they just absolutely couldn't.
Yeah, Aura are really in control most of the time. Even when they're not in control, it feels like they've just immediately got that counterplay, that positioning to make it so hard for Swift to actually, you know, capitalize on an advantage they've made. And right now, we've got a bit of a slow moment. Looks like a bit of a Z push coming out. Yeah, they're looking to make a play through Z. They managed to push Rising out. I feel like Pappy wants to chase or at least create that space right now. Never going down as a result. Just a bit of an overextension. But this could be something for Elektro. They got Rising behind the Polygon above. They're in a weird position. Look at this Uber though. They managed to get the exchange. But Demo's gonna go all the way
what
into
are
lobby.
they even doing? They're just running around.
Just going on an adventure.
This is the Div 6 combo strat where you just run around as a unit trying to hope for the best. I mean...
It's not failing.
No, not just yet. I mean, it does look like the entirety of Swift are just walking around like, what are we doing? It's just, is Demo's going to get out now? Grumpy, how's this possibly happening? Rising doesn't even know where they are. No one's told Rising. Rising's just standing in a house.
This is brilliant. But our Elektro are just having a ball. Ixie on top of Cart trying to make something.
Oh my god! And then they reckon the choke point. Okay, that was either the stupidest or smartest thing I've ever seen in my entire life. That was incredible.
I need a moment. Like, everything I knew about TF2 kind of just broke there, and I felt like it was in an alternate reality, just getting away with that. And now they've got like 80% Uber ad onto this last push. Poor old Pappy gets eaten by that sentry gun. But Smeary? What? Why are you so far forward? Now we've got that demo advantage for Elektro. Eames wants to play off this. He's looking for some space to go in. He wants to spam out that sentry gun. Takes a lot, not able to clear it. He's going to need some help from his team. They managed to do it alongside Azunas.
I feel like they're going to start overstaying their welcome very, very soon. I mean,
never go down.
These spawners are coming in from the side of Swift. They can't just do this forever. They were so slow taking down the gun. But so it's like, okay, the game didn't make sense. The game's going to return to making sense now. The team which has the advantage in terms of players and actually a tiny bit of Uber advantage should be able to take some control of this second. It does look like Aura even thought they had a little bit more of a disadvantage than actually happened. Alba, he's still running around with the frontier justice. You don't care.
He watched that Samsy play of I-Series, and now everyone wants.
He was just like,
moment.
yeah, I want to do that.
But look at this, Uber getting forced out. Demos doesn't have to use his. He's managing to stay alive quite nicely. He's just used it now. They clean up Polygon. They're probably in a position to chase. Pappy definitely wants to maybe do that. Ixie actually behind, losing a 1v1 against Nevo. They do lose their Roma though for Elektro, but Med still in that respawn queue. Alba going into house. Probably shouldn't.
It's just so scrappy. I mean, two random guys went in. It seemed like a bit of a weird trade for the side of Swift, and then they had people behind it. Then Omrak was by himself for like a solid 4 or 5 seconds, and I don't know, none of it matters basically. Half the Swift team has just only spawned. We do have a big advantage from the side of Elektro, and again, nothing's really working for Swift. They're trying so many different things. They're just throwing things at a wall and just hoping something's gonna stick, and it just isn't. I mean, call me crazy. I feel like they might want to go back to some more conventional play in a minute.
Maybe. I doubt it though. As Rising goes in, Demos gets so low, gonna get forced by Rising. Kept the chase on, and that's gonna create that little bit of breathing room on this last, especially for Swift. But they're gonna take it forward. They know they've got about a 60-70% ad. But
so,
Smeary keeps getting disconnected from his team. I know he wasn't punished there, but I see it so often. And we may see some bombs in, but right now, oh, scruff on that sniper though. Gets on back with a body shot. You know, taking the heels out of play. Maybe not be a headshot, but he did his job. But oh god, Swift are not having any of this. They're going in. Rising just putting a lot of pressure on there. Never going down. Rising getting traded. But Demo's calm and calculated. Getting out through Z. Ixie on 2 health. Gonna maybe get Scruff. Scruff goes super low. He's now on 3 health. Are we counting up or something, Eepily? I'm getting confused.
I have absolutely no idea. I think we do actually have a pause, so we can take just a second there, right?
We can breathe.
So, just to recap, there was a huge opportunity for Swift to push out of last. They had Uber advantage, but more importantly, Eames was dead for about 8 seconds. They could walk really, really far. They could basically get to point and then really choke with very, very little contesting from the side of Aura, right? What actually happened is Swift were a little bit slow. They were half towards Balk, half towards Side Spire, and then by the time they really got in front of Side Spire, Scruff was already peeking choke on Sniper, they lose Ombrek. I feel like, granted, aggression for the sake of aggression has been a downfall of some of these Swift players, but I feel like there's also a certain bit of, Aura starting to get in the head. When you lose that first map 6-1, and now you're already a round down, they're a little bit scared, they're a little bit, uncoordinated. Do we do this? Do we do that? Really, to me, it would have made more sense for them to just hard deny that choke point as quickly as possible. There's no stickies to worry about. You can get through main and just, deny any opportunity for a sniper. But it does seem like Swift are really doubting themselves. And more importantly, when they make mistakes, they're then full committing. That's what we're seeing with all these soldier bombs. The second they lose anyone, they're like, we'll just go in, we'll just win. Not really happening. Aura's just too coordinated for that.
Yeah. So I'm just taking a moment.
You're stressed out, aren't you? I can tell.
I can breathe in some oxygen. It may have been scrappy, but my God, is this entertaining. Both teams are trying to make something happen. My only thought is, I feel like the Swift players are incredibly good, don't get me wrong. These are some of the top players that have been in TF2, but I just feel like they need to slow it down. Or Elektro are liking the pace, but if they can get that pace off or Elektro, slow things down and then get everything back in control, like just snap that control away from them, I feel like they can start converting some rounds here.
Yeah, I mean, everything up, for the first 12, 13 minutes, everything was going well for Swift other than the last pushes. They don't need to mess with anything other than how they approach last. That's all they need to worry about. So we do now see Eames and the rest of Aura Elektro trying to get on to second. We do have one little back cap, but ultimately he's not going to be able to buy enough time for his team to do anything too much. Smear, super aggressive, trying to get onto Spire. Nice little jump from Polygon, and now it's just Eames and Demos. Again, side Spire. This time you will not be able to just run behind and hope that no one notices you. I swear to God, it will not work. And the second I say that, Smear gets headshot, and it does.
Oh my God. You are having a bad case of the caster's curse, my friend. As Azunas goes down as well, Demos is going to hopefully back out. Pappy getting cleaned up, but Scruff, 4 kills on that sniper. He's just being an absolute nuisance.
It's just annoying. It's just the constant, the body shots, the constant threat. Ombrak has to play in a much safer position, so we can't really heal Ixie in the same way. Every time he goes through a different choke, he's got to think, right, is this angle open? Is this angle open? We have Rising trying to get in as well. He's been doing as much as he can this game. Eventually, yes, they will take down Demos. So now we have an opportunity, and with Scruff most likely going down with Eames in this choke point, they don't have to worry about the sniper. They can just walk forward. Ombrak and Smear, they can just play together. They just need a scout with them, play nice and slow, and expect any weird stuff that Pappy might be doing. I mean, he's actually just standing in spawn, but they don't know that.
Yeah, and they're kind of stacking on this mid. Like I said, I think they're going to be a little bit more cold and calculated with the decisions. So I do believe that was a technical pause, not a tactical pause, as far as I'm aware. But yeah, right now, both teams, looking just to, this is the calm before the storm, especially on the Swift side. They want to convert this some way, so it's all about how they're going to get Demos down and create that opportunity. Such a solid hold from Aura Elektro. We've seen the Uber has come out. They've managed to get so much damage to all those players. Smear is denying the point and the spawn. This is a good. If they can keep this up, Smear is not dropping down. It gets easy.
There's so much time on point. Okay.
1 for 1. There we go.
We got a game. And honestly, so much of that came down to Alba baited the point, but this time he got Eames to det his stickies. Again, stickies inside the room, super annoying to deal with. The second Alba baited that point just enough to get Eames to det them, he got about 80% cap time instantly, just because of how fast it caps. That was the one real difference as far as I can see in that last push, and it was all they need. They just need to make sure those stickies are dealt with. And now suddenly, this should be like a breath of wind in the sails of Swift. They can, they can win this. There's no reason why not.
Yeah, and the bombs come in from both soldiers from both teams, and Polygon and Azunas do trade. Rising super low, going to get cleaned up as well. And right now, it's not looking good for Swift soldier-wise. Oh my, he sniped He got demos?
Yeah, he absolutely
Wow.
He gave demos to Dickens all the way. I mean, now Smith's making some questionable decisions going into his own shithouse. That doesn't really quite make too much sense to me, but hey, Ombrak got out. He's got a scout with him. They've got full Uber. That's a solid 90% Uber advantage. And I feel like this is the kind of opportunity where, you know, they play close enough to get a little bit of info, and then if Aura just, you know, slightly overstays their welcome, they just hard punish them. And if, you know, if Aura's not playing too close, take it for free. Why not? This is how things are going to work here. You know, Aura Electro likes to play smart. Maybe that's going to mean, you know, they end up playing a little bit too slow. They're playing so many super far back. As long as they can avoid some of this spam, get some nice little air shots onto different players here. Doesn't look like Ombrak will have to use. Really nice.
Yeah, what a way to enter in. Azuna's getting cleaned up by getting just knocked flying by Polygon. Even though they lose him, he just created that space. Now they're fighting in Z. They're going to pick up Pappy. So again, this is just slowly picking away. They're going to use the Uber.
95% on demos.
They are trapped in so bad. Oh my god, Demos gets the Uber. Manages to stay alive. This could collapse for Swift as they lose Smiro. Alba super low, going to get cleaned up. So many players dropping down for Swift, but Rising still in. Polygon go for the player of the Demos. Demos going to get cleaned up. My god, to and fro. Ombrak and Polygon, only ones left. Nevo may clean him up. Going.
What?
Oh.
Okay, I have no idea how Polygon's staying alive here. Ombrak's going to try and get out as well. He's getting chased. I mean, it did seem just then that pick on Eames was so important. Demos didn't quite have his Uber, but I think then Swift just overstayed their welcome again. They could have just ran as far away as possible, you know, get to like the backside of Greybridge and just tried and live just a little bit longer, but it seemed like they wanted to commit a bit too heavily. Granted, they didn't get punished too much. This is still now an Uber advantage, about 30%, and maybe this is it. Maybe after that last one, they've cracked their last pushes. Deal with these stickies, try and bait them. I mean, really, we could even be seeing smear spawn on quickies on some of these lasts, you know? Purposely, like, whenever you have an Uber advantage, just try and think as far ahead as possible, because one air-detted sticky destroys everything. And actually, there's not even stickies on the rim, which has been the biggest problem, so this is looking good for Swift. As long as they can not make any stupid mistakes early, they should be fine.
Yeah, and they're going to go in right now, try and clear those sticks. The sticks have been cleared.
Yeah,
and
there we go.
There we go. That's one of the most terrifying things about Badlands Last. Like, it's so quick that if you're not immediately jumping players onto there and dropping down, you just lose the round so quickly.
I say it's ridiculous the difference between putting stickies on floor and the stickies on rim. You saw the stickies on floor, you can just shoot them straight to the side. Super easy. Alba's able to play back of point. That time just goes just like, you know, like that basically. But when they're on the rim, that entire push takes so much longer, and it was just because Eames didn't have time to set them up there.
Yeah, and on this mid right now, Ombrak's kind of not been able to go up. Elektro is just doing a lot of spam and area denials. Smiro's in about, oh my god, those pipes from Eames. Polygon trying to make a play over the top, try to do something. There are some players dropping. Eames going down as well. You know what? Swift, what a way to kind of come back into that mid-fight when it was looking so dire for them.
Definitely showing fantastic mental resilience from the side of Swift. I mean, you know, it's difficult to say that when you've got so many players on Swift, which, you know, they played the game for years. They played at the highest level for years and years and years. So, you know, you kind of, after a while, you just assume that they're not going to get nerves in these kind of situations. But it's still something to really give, like, a shout-out to. They go from that 1-0 to now they're 2-1 up, and it's now 3 minutes 30. And for Aura Electro, in the back of their head, they're thinking, we want to win this. We want to get these points, because it's going to be, if they trade points here, then it's going to be Swift still ahead of them, I believe, by 1 point on the tables. So it's going to make their road to playoffs that bit more difficult. It's really 6 points here that they don't necessarily absolutely need, but it's really, it has to be the goal for them here. So we do have some equal Ubers. We have some people moving back and forth. Ixie running straight to last. There's going to be so much time, and he's just going to stand on it.
Oh,
and match Badlands again.
God.
That's 3-1. And that's just heartbreaking for Aura Electro. It's 3 minutes. They have to be so fast, even just to equalize at this point.
I imagine we're going to see Azunas just try his best to go as quickly as possible, go straight on to Smeare and just create a nice opportunity for them to go in. But at 3-1, like, we've had, what, 10 to 20 minutes of just back and forth. And now Swift feel a lot more in control, and I'm proud of them for doing that. But look at this. like I mentioned, Azunas is just able to bully out Smeary. He's not able to be in on this fight. Polygon's going to get suspended in the air. Look at this chase from Pappy as well onto Rising. Rising's just going to deny him, but Scruff going for that chase. Ooh.
They're still playing pretty close on Choke, actually. So much damage being dealt to Smear, and actually, Ombrak looks like he's going to get caught out. He will, actually. And that's actually a complete wipe. This is everything that Aura needed and more. It's only actually Polygon alive. Ixie now, still some quite late spawners. Smear, Ombrak, and Alba all really late. They can actually almost try and get on the point. It's only really Polygon on the inside of this rim, which is going to be an issue. He will actually go down. There's still not these spawners up. There's so many people moving towards the point. Scruff's really, really weak, so any damage at all will kill him. He's getting really, really good time. Yeah, this has to be around. This has to be around.
Swift. Oh my god, Ombrak is the only one left. Oh. It's doable. 1 minute.
This is 100% doable. They just did it in a minute and a half. Now they need to do it in 1 more minute and a half. It comes down to a mid like that and a last like that.
Oh my god, this is going to be so crazy. If they're able to get this all the way through, any other map, I say it's not possible, but if they get a wipe, they can bring this to a golden cap.
It's definitely possible for Elektro to bring this to golden cap. I mean, there's even the question of, would the Swift team decide not to go to mid, but they're going for it.
Yeah, they're so quick, and look at their positioning right now. Rising's just going to come into bomb right now, and right now it's looking pretty good for either team. Like, no one's really coming out on top until Swift start. Swift, they just need to win this mid, and that's what they're doing. Azuna's the only one left. Unless something
drastic works for him.
Yeah.
No,
it's GG. But wow, what a close game. It's such a like polarizing difference from the previous game. And congratulations to Swift to getting themselves into that mindset and that position where they took in control, like I mentioned, and being able to convert a couple of situations. Yes, there were scrappy last pushes. Yes, they weren't, just full commits, but they're going to seal the deal, actually, and that's going to be 4-2. Yeah, they know they've won this. Even Ixie's, they're leaving the server. It's 5 seconds
left.
Done.
They're happy, and they should be. They should be. I mean, like you said, to bounce back like that after a map like Sunshine is so good. It's so good for morale, and it's so good to kind of go forward knowing that, okay, they're still now going to be above or Elektro in on the tables, and now it's going to come down to really how Swift does against Feint next week.
Yeah, I think it's such an amazing situation to be in right now, because playoffs are so close. We've got 3 teams that are all battling left, right, and centre not to be left out, and this is not what I expected. Kind of after the Elektro map for Elektro to take this, and the fact that it's 3 apiece with only 1 point in between them this late into the season. Still anyone's game to get into playoffs, really.
Yeah, 100% it is. Literally any of the 3 teams could manage to get through the playoffs, depending on what happens between, you have Swift versus Feint, well, technically week 7, which is still this week now because of how late this game got played, and then we have Elektro versus the Germans. So there's so many different things, so many different combinations, which can result in any of those 3 teams managing to get through, and it's almost kind of like, it's obviously going to be disappointing for each team to not, for both Swift and Aura to not get through this with 6. That was always the dream. That was always going to make them much, much more comfortable. But the dream's still alive. It just means they have to work that much harder for the next game.
Yeah, and just looking at the logs, you can see that it's such a closer game. And just look at the team kills. 95 to 96. Complete difference in how the game was beforehand. It was so close on this. 600 damage between the 2 teams as well. Like,
yeah, I mean, just said, like, to look at, it looked super close. We had certain points, like that kind of mid period. A lot of it seemed to be going the way of Aura. At the beginning there was a lot of going the way of Swift. They just couldn't convert those last pushes. And then in the middle it seemed to be all about Aura. Not by a huge margin, but a significant enough. And then right at the end we saw a little bit more go back the way of Swift again. And it kind of shows you like some of like those minute, like the micro details which come into some of this stuff. You saw how much of a difference literally Swift's last pushes went up by, I don't know, 900% success rate, literally just by slightly different playing of that point, you know? Like, just messing with Eames a little bit more, making him get his sticks, or even just play a position where you push fast enough that Eames isn't able to get his stickies in there, you know? They were dealing with the gun pretty well. They knew it was a point play they really had to focus on. You can see I don't know whether that was like a conscious thing or whether it was kind of, you know, like a natural action in the game to just play that slight bit different, even if it wasn't communicated, but it was exactly what they needed, and is 100% the reason Swift won this map.
Yeah, and we will be moving on to interviews. I don't know if there's anyone else that's going to join us, or have we just got Umbrak with us, Peter? Okay, so how you doing, Umbrak?
Hi, I won a map in Prem. I'm insane.
You're insane, dude.
I played like garbage. Woo!
Let's
Best interview. Bye.
Let's slide. Let's slide on.
That's
past
it.
that
End of interviews. Don't even care.
Bye.
No.
See you later. Thank you everyone for watching. I'm joking.
I have some questions, right? Obviously, you're new. You're new to this team in general, right? You've been playing a lot with Feint over the season, kind of subbing here and there and playing for various different teams as the season's gone by, right?
I basically played more for Ascent than for Feint.
That's even better. So
that's like I played 3 evenings that season, so that's pretty much nothing.
So going into Swift now, obviously, the first map was Sunshine, and Sunshine, I feel like, as much as it's been in the map pool for ages, teams still don't quite have it nailed. I mean, what was really planned for you guys on Sunshine? It just seemed like you guys couldn't really deal with a lot of the Elektro mids. It seemed like your guys' last pushes it was impossible to work. Was that map kind of expected? You know, did you have some ideas of how to play it, or was it just a case of we'll just kind of see what happens?
Well, to be completely honest with you, I barely played with Swift before. I played one scrim before tonight, so I don't really know. I won't talk for the team that much, but I feel like it was more let's go and see what happens. There were some set mids, but it was rough over the edges. You know, it's like let's go aggro left side or let's try to go right side, but nothing really set in stone, I'd say. And I think the beginning was okay, but then I don't know what happened, but I feel like the team played less around me and kind of fell in that over-aggressive mindset that sometimes teams have when they don't really know the map. Because when you don't know the holes, why would you try to play passive, right? So I think this is a bit what happened on Sunshine.
That's fair. That makes sense. I guess if you've not played a huge amount with the team before today, let's focus more on like the feel of the game. Obviously, Sunshine was 6-1. It was a rough game. You know, everyone's feeling bad. Everyone's a bit like, oh, what's the point anymore, right? Ignore that. Going into Badlands, 1-0 down after about 12, 13 minutes, after a good, 2 or 3 failed last pushes. What was the team feeling like? Was there an air of, we know we can win, we just need to fix this? Or was it an air of almost kind of desperation leading to people making the correct plays?
No, I feel like in between the two maps, usually when people lose a map, they go silent. But I feel like we used that time really well to talk about how we wanted to play. Me and Smirre basically went over the fact that people need to play a bit more around me, and I think we did that way better on the second map. We fed a lot less during team fights, and in team fights where we would like get wiped on Sunshine, we would lost a point, for example, the mid fight, but we would leave with the 4 people alive. So that was a huge difference. I think maybe it's also because they know the map more. Badlands has been around for ages, so people naturally know how to hold points better. I feel like, but better than on Sunshine. So it's overall more coordinated gameplay, and I think Smirre left me a bit more room in the calls as well. Yeah. So I could, because I feel like Smirre is trying to play a really aggressive playstyle where something is always happening, whereas I try to make the team a bit more conservative in the way they play, and this is why it worked out better. And even though we got 1-0 down at some point, we knew that we played better and that there was a lot of time and room to make it a win. So I think at no moment we lost our focus on this second map.
Yeah, it's like me and Grumpy were kind of talking, you know, in like that first 50 minutes of the game, it was, yeah, okay, so Aura is leading by 1, but really the control has been on the side of Swift. Like, it was looking like you guys were creating more advantages. It was just, you know, actually the bit where you managed to, like, clench the last little bit of the round, but it did seem like, you know, tiny little changes to, like, last pushes seemed to make all the difference, and then the second it was, like, 1 round, then suddenly it was 2, and then suddenly, you know, you're starting to make Aura feel much more comfortable. It did, yeah. It's nice to know. Nice to know the team was focused, not just kind of, you know, getting that situation where you panic and just kind of hope for the best. There's definitely some pretty crazy stuff. I appreciate what you say about Smear going for quite an aggressive playstyle, because we definitely saw that. Good God, I think Grumpy had a heart attack at one point because of how much was happening.
Oh yeah. My God.
He's not used to it. He's too used to watching these other teams. You know, they don't do nothing all day.
Yeah, but I jumped into that team 3 days ago, so my job I think was to try to slow things down a bit, because I remember casting some games of Swift and Smeary was always overextending.
Yeah, this is what we said as well. Like, it seemed far better. It still happened a few times on Sunshine, but on Badlands nowhere near as much. It seemed like such a difference.
Yeah, so I'm not gonna say I tamed Smeary, but I tried to show him that. I think he knew about it, but maybe he was a bit too stuck on that mindset. I don't really know. Again, don't want to talk too much about the team because I don't really know much about them. When I jumped into that team, I was told to try to call my positions and Ubers a lot, and I felt like a bit more was needed. So this is what I tried to do, but we'll see how it goes. But I think I'm quite happy with how we played, and I'm pretty sure there's room for better things to come in our last game.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's going to be really, really interesting to see what happens versus Feint. That's on the 8th, so it's only actually a few days away. That's on Thursday. Grumpy, got any questions you want to ask?
Yeah, one very simple question. Did you have fun that game? Because I had fun watching it.
That was alright. I have fun when I win, so the Badlands was better than Sunshine, but yeah, that was like, I know pretty much all these players. Like, I played with Rising at LAN, I played with Polygon and Smear on different locations. I played with Smear at LAN as well, with Asenchiladas. So I know some of them, so it was good time, and I think they're all pretty chill people. So even when we're losing again, I think sometimes when you lose, people just go silent and don't say anything and just get toxic, and there was no passive aggressive mindset tonight, so that was pretty cool.
Yeah, just because I remember, I think it was either season 29 or season 30, one of the two, where I spoke to you, and one thing that really frustrated you is you said that you're not a fan of the slow play style that kind of has been the cornerstone for European TF2 for a while now, and I just wanted to see if you enjoyed finally getting what you wanted, so to speak.
Yeah, but like somehow against what I want to play, I try to play us a bit more passive. At some point, when we're 3-1 up on Badlands, we win the middle, and it's 3-2, I think, and we have the Aspire, and I say, okay, we just hold outside and we let them push, which is basically everything I'm against. But sometimes you need to take maps.
So basically, it's not okay when other people do it, but when you do it, it's fine.
I think it's about that middle ground, you know. It's about that middle ground, you know, where you can, you know, you got to play smart, you know. You can catch people, you can do whatever, but if you become predictable, then they're just gonna play into that, and you're just gonna look a bit stupid, you know.
Well, that's my role. I'm there to bring balance to the force.
You are. Oh, good. No, we're not going to go into these.
No. Let's. All right.
I'm happy.
I'm going to take control there. Are you happy, Eepily?
That was a good game.
Are you happy, Ombrak?
Yeah.
He's very happy.
He's very happy. And,
I'll be more happier next Thursday because I will win 6-0 against quarterback. So.
Yeah. Nice. And I hope Peter's happy. I hope everyone in chat is happy. We've been Team Fortress TV. We've been covering the ETF2L Season 31, Week 6, Swift EU versus Elektro. They both took a map each, and a huge shout out to our sponsors, stntrading.eu and your boys at Copenhagen Games. We'll see you there when it's all up. Have a wonderful rest of your day, guys, and we'll see you at the next coverage. Bye bye.